This is KUGAN CASSIUS for iFold TV in association with MTK Global. We're in London here, ahead of this Friday night show from York Hall. I'm joined by Mr. MVP himself, Michael Venom Page. How are you, mate?
I'm good, man. Feeling good.
Yeah, all good?
Yeah, definitely.
You're like a man with two wives, aren't you? You got one wife, you know, let's call her Bells, and then you got another wife, let's call her Box. Which one do you love?
Bells and Box.
Which one do you love?
I love them both, man.
Equally?
I love them both equally. I have to say, with in the MMA world, I feel like I can do more, which is kind of adds to my creativity as a fighter. And in the boxing world, there's a lot more. It's a lot more technical, and you've got a lot more skill aspect that you really need to pay attention to. And but it's a challenge for me, and I enjoy that challenge. The fact that I can do both just says I'm a person that just enjoys combat. Full stop. You know, if I was allowed to go and do, taekwondo in the Olympics, I'll go and do that as well, or karate, or this. I just enjoy combat.
I mean, talk to me a little bit about the restrictions. Obviously, you were meant to fight on a couple of shows, but your Bellator commitments prevented you from doing that. Is that right?
Yeah. So I think because it's a new contract in terms of they have allowed me to do it, but there was never really an official agreement about the details of things. So it's kind of been winged as we're going along. So if they're happy with something, then it's cool. If they're not, then I have to go. They take priority. So until I renegotiate with them and actually solidify my boxing habits in with that contract, then I kind of have to go with what's going on now. But I'll always keep pushing the boundary. I'll always be like can I jump on this one? If they say no, they say no. But I always ask. I always try and push and try and get on the next one and get on the next one. So I've just had to finish the fight. Good to go. I said I feel fresh. Can I do another boxing fight? You know, I missed the last one. Can I do this one? And they're like, cool, no problem, do it.
But let's just say in 2 to 3 years' time, where do you kind of ultimately see, your career really pushing with, if there was the only choice of one or the other?
Thing is, I don't think there'll ever only be a choice for one or the other.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is because there's going to be big fights in boxing and there's going to be big fights in MMA. And if both sides appreciate that, if I get given the opportunity to do a boxing fight, I speak to my guys in MMA. I say, look, it's a big opportunity, it's a big fight, I want to take it. I'm going to take this amount of time off from MMA, and I'm going to focus on this. It's a big fight, need to get it done. Cool. Same vice versa. Okay, I got a big fight in MMA. I'm going to be cool here. I'm going to chill. I need to go and handle business over there. I'll be back. So for me, I think while I have the ability to do that, I'm going to keep doing that.
You're very optimistic about how that could pan out. I'm just thinking if you're fighting 10s and 12 rounders and the camps are longer in boxing, and
I still don't see it being an issue. And if it becomes an issue, then I'll say I'll say, you know what, I have to make that decision to just be here or to just be here, and I have to go with what I'd enjoy more, maybe, or whatever decisions are on the table at the time. But like you say, I'm optimistic about it, but at the same time, I feel because it's different to what people expect, people automatically are like, that's not possible. Everyone's always in that kind of phase when someone mentions something that's people aren't doing. Now you have to pick one or the other. Why? Who says that? But let me prove you guys different. Let me do the 12-round fight. Whoop someone there. Let me come back over here. Whoop someone here. You know what I mean? And when I do that, everyone's like, okay, yeah. And then all of a sudden, I guarantee you're going to start seeing people doing multiple sports and it being the norm. And that's where I see, I genuinely believe I can do that.
What happened when you sparred Chris Eubank Jr.? What happened?
In my experience of certain boxers that I've kind of come across, there's a bit of entitlement, Diva-Ish behavior. And I've come across it a couple of times now, and I'd say it's a bit Diva-Ish behavior. And when things aren't going your way, sometimes it can come out. I'll just leave it at that.
Because I'm just going to repeat some quotes that I saw whenever it was.
Yeah.
That he threw a hissy fit in the sparring. Is that a quote from you? Did you say that? Or?
Yeah. I'm not going to deny that kind of thing. It's like, for me, it wasn't. Put it this way, like I said, in MMA, when we have guys come down for sparring or we go and meet someone for sparring, regardless of what happens, it happens in sparring. It happens in boxing as well. I've seen it. I've been there when Joey Joyce is fighting guys coming into the gym. So, but there never seems to be any ego there. And I think when you come in to a spar and there's ego involved, then there's always going to be a problem. So these times I wasn't even in it to do boxing. There was no real interest. There was always like talks about it, but we never really had any interest to do boxing. We was contacted by, I think it's Adam Booth, from my coach, saying that they need sparring partners because they're not getting any. And I was like, we fight anybody, anywhere, anytime. That's London shoot all day. That's us. And my coach is happy for me to go there and get my ass handed to me, so you can come back and be like, we need to work on this, that, and that. And we went there. We had a round that went very good in my favor. To be fair, like I said, I'm saying to these guys here, I feel like against anybody, whatever level of boxing, in 4 rounds you can't touch me. After that point, your boxing experience, if you're still standing, your boxing experience is going to take over. And then it's going to be a bit more competitive, should I say. So in 4 rounds, that's what we expected. We expected the first 4 rounds, it's going to go nice. After that point, I'm going to have to work and I might get my ass handed to me. Well, we're happy for that to happen. He never allowed it to get past to that point. So again, hissy fit kind of happened. He started arguing, and even Adam Booth got annoyed with him at the time because of the way he was conducting himself. And I think he just had an ego. He brought ego into the gym when it wasn't necessary.
Second pro fight for you this Friday night against Michael Siak. He's not relatively experienced. I think he's had about 6 or 7 fights, if that. Have you seen anything of him?
I literally haven't watched anything yet. I'll probably do it like just night before, just before. He's not as experienced, and I wanted more, but with like only a few weeks turnaround. We called for a couple of names, and they're not interested. And these guys are with winning records, and they're not interested. And I was saying, I feel like they're holding a winning record in boxing means a lot more for their career. So I appreciate that, but it's equally still frustrating. Because I'm like, that guy's 10-2, or that guy's 8-0, and that guy, let's get those guys. They're not interested. So until I'm able to demand those kind of people, because I've got a winning record myself, I guess I'm going to have to deal with whatever I get given. And either way, anything can happen in a fight, regardless. Someone can just throw a punch, graze you in the right place, my legs go wobbly, and then the fight's over for me, and he's got a lot more to gain because of my reputation. So I need to go in and take it just as seriously as I do anybody else, and then go on to the next.
David Haye confirmed his retirement yesterday in a statement and a video and etc. So I think it was probably expected after David suggested that there would be some news a few weeks ago after his defeat with Tony Bellew. But I mean, what can you say? The man was a undisputed cruiserweight world champion and a world heavyweight champion as well.
Exactly. He's done it all, man. Like, as a friend, anybody would have wanted to see him get that last, even because he was already mentioning that win or lose, he may still retire anyway. So this is prior to the fight.
Yeah, he did say that. Yeah.
So I think he was already considering, but it would have been nice for him to go out on that win. You know what I mean? As a friend. But the thing is weird because I'm still massively proud of him, and I think he's done it all anyway. And weirdly enough, I was actually proud of Bellew as well, because I think he had a lot to overcome as well. It was just good to see 2 British fighters that have had a long journey together, cross paths and finish at the end like that. And Bellew may continue. I think he's going to continue anyway. He said he's kind of got the bug back again to compete. But I'm just proud of my friend, man. I think he did amazing. It's just not his time anymore. I think he's a few years too late to be competing with the guys that, in my opinion, I'd have put my money on him every single time against every other heavyweights that are out there right now, if David was in that prime still. and he just unfortunately just passed it, which is a shame because I think him in the mix with the likes of the AJs, the Deontay Wilders, the Tyson Furies would have been amazing to have the extra person there. But it is what it is. Either way, I'll always see him for the legend he is for art British boxing, and just support him in what he's doing.
50 Cent is a big fan of you, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, it seems so. Now, it's good to get that kind of attention, man. Like, I think last year, a couple of years ago, a big fight I had in London, Lennox Lewis was there. And he came down, he's like, yeah, I've seen some of your fights and blah, blah. And then he, got to kind of speak to him, sit down and speak to him quite a few times. And then he saw my fight that I had won. We're speaking again afterwards. And he was just like, man, I'm a fan, man, like wicked. Now, a couple of years later, Bellator calls me up. Oh yeah, 50 Cent wants your number. Is it okay if we give it to him? I'm like,
oh, you two actually mates and stuff, yeah.
Well, he just called me up.
Yeah.
So we're like, yeah.
Yeah, Fiddy on the phone.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not?
So started rapping with him, like just catching up. He said he's coming down to watch the fight. Obviously, he saw the fight. He's a fan, and I think he's doing some. I don't know what he's doing with Bellator. I think he's just a fan of the way they run how they run their shows and stuff. But yeah, he's definitely into MMA, and I think I've just gained a very big fan, shall I say. So yeah, it's good to have those kind of people behind you, and it just says a lot about what you're doing and the path that you're on, the journey that you're on.
See if you can get yourself a part in Power.
Mate, I'd love to, but I think they've already finished filming.
This series
is
is coming
season,
out
isn't it?
1st of July.
Hopefully he does some more power shows, and I jump on that. I'd love to.
Yeah. I could see you somewhere in there.
Yeah, man. Spin kick somebody, something.
Yeah.
No, but definitely.
All right, well, listen, Michael, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV. Wish you the best of luck, and we'll catch up with you after your fight on Friday night. Tune in today if you're not there.